From national politics to global fame, Prime Minister Tariq Rahman listed in Time 100's world's most influential leaders. Government to launch 5-year primary education development program from July, Prime Minister Tariq Rahman informs সংসদ. Prime Minister seeks $2 billion support from development partners to address fuel crisis, safeguard economic stability. No immediate fuel shortage as current oil reserves sufficient for next 2 months, says Energy Division spokesperson. Fascism carries virus within power. Government stands firm to prevent its spread, says Information Minister. New law in the offing to ensure benefits reach genuine farmers and fishermen, says Prime Minister's Information Advisor. Primary scholarship examination begins nationwide after 16-year gap. Charges framed against 28, including Nanok in Mohammadpur killings case, hearing set for April 26th. Trump says Iran war may end soon. UN chief sees fresh scope for US-Iran peace talks. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman has been named one of the 100 most influential people in the world for 2026 by the New York-based Time magazine. The prestigious list released today features the Bangladeshi leader alongside global figures including US President Donald Trump, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, Pope Leo XIV, Benjamin Netanyahu, Nepal's Prime Minister Balendra Shah, and New York Mayor Zoran Mamdani. In a profile detailing his rapid political ascent, Time wrote, rewind just a few months and Tariq Rahman was living a carefree life of exile in leafy southwest London. But the 2024 ousting of Bangladesh's autocratic Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina propelled the 57-year-old skin from opposition agitator to national leader in waiting, a destiny he fulfilled in February by winning an electoral landslide after 17 years estranged from his homeland. Tariq Rahman became Prime Minister following the BNP's landslide victory in the 13th national elections held on 12 February, just days after the passing of his mother Khaleda Zia, who served as Bangladesh's first female Prime Minister. His inclusion in the Time 100 marks a significant moment of international recognition for his leadership following nearly 2 decades in exile and his subsequent return to power. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman informed the Jatiyo সংসদ that the 5-year term 5th Primary Education Development Program is set to begin from July 1st. The leader of the House said this while replying to a start question from Treasury Bench member Humam Kadir Chowdhury in the House with Speaker Hafizuddin Ahmed Bir Bikram in the chair today. He said the current government's election manifesto has emphasized bringing all primary school teachers in the country under special training programs to improve their teaching skills. The Prime Minister said his government has already taken steps to take into consideration the potential findings from the maritime spatial planning activities. He also said the BNP's election manifesto includes ensuring the scientific and sustainable use of the country's vast marine resources. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman informed the Parliament that the present government has a specific commitment to develop Bangladesh's tourism sector in sustainable and planned manner. The Civil Aviation and Tourism Ministry is working to formulate a national tourism master plan to this end, he added. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman told the Jatiyo সংসদ that his government has specific plans to explore alternative labor market abroad in view of recent instability in the Middle East, including Iran. Tariq Rahman said that the government has taken necessary steps to formulate and implement action plans based on a 180-day program to implement the commitments made in the election manifesto.
বর্তমান সরকারের ইশতেহারে দেশের সকল প্রাথমিক বিদ্যালয় শিক্ষকদের শিক্ষার মান এবং দক্ষতা বৃদ্ধির লক্ষ্যে বিশেষ প্রশিক্ষণ কর্মসূচির আওতায় আনার ওপর গুরুত্ব প্রদান করা হয়েছে। আগামী 1 জুলাই 2026 হতে 5 বছর মেয়াদী পঞ্চম প্রাথমিক শিক্ষা উন্নয়ন কর্মসূচি সরকার শুরু করতে যাচ্ছে এবং এই কর্মসূচির মাধ্যমে অবশিষ্ট যে শিক্ষকবৃন্দ আছেন তাদেরকেও ইংরেজি বিষয়ে শিক্ষা প্রদানের পরিকল্পনা বর্তমান সরকারের রয়েছে। দেশের অপার সম্ভাবনায় সমুদ্র সম্পদের বিজ্ঞান ভিত্তিক টেকসই ব্যবহার নিশ্চিতকরণের মাধ্যমে সুনীল অর্থনীতির বিকাশ এবং জাতীয় সুনীল অর্থনীতি কর্তৃপক্ষ প্রতিষ্ঠার বিষয়টি বাংলাদেশ জাতীয়তাবাদী দল তথা বিএনপির নির্বাচনী ইশতেহারে রয়েছে। এছাড়া 2005 সালে তৎকালীন বিএনপি সরকার উপকূলীয় অঞ্চল নীতি 2005 প্রণয়ন করে, যা উপকূলীয় অঞ্চলের উন্নয়ন এবং সুরক্ষা একটি গুরুত্বপূর্ণ মাইলফলক। বর্তমান সরকার এমএসপি বা সমুদ্র অঞ্চল পরিকল্পনা কার্যক্রম এবং এ থেকে দেশের সম্ভাব্য অর্জিতব্য বিষয়টি বিবেচনার জন্য ইতিমধ্যেই পদক্ষেপ গ্রহণ করেছে। সামুদ্রিক সম্পদ, মৎস্য, পর্যটন এবং পরিবেশ সংরক্ষণের মধ্যে সমন্বিত ভারসাম্য প্রতিষ্ঠা এবং সুনীল অর্থনীতি টেকসই ও দীর্ঘমেয়াদী উন্নয়ন নিশ্চিত করার লক্ষ্যে প্রয়োজন হলে 2026-27 অর্থ বছরেই প্রাতিষ্ঠানিক কাঠামো গড়ে তোলার বিষয়টি সক্রিয় বিবেচনাধীন রয়েছে। নদী শাসনের বিষয়টি অত্যন্ত ব্যয়বহুল একটি বিষয়, বাট তারপরেও প্রয়োজন অনুযায়ী আমাদেরকে করতে হবে। এবং সাথে আরেকটি গুরুত্বপূর্ণ বিষয় আছে, এই ভাঙনগুলো কখন হয়? ভাঙনগুলো আমরা দেখেছি অধিকাংশ সময় বর্ষার সময় হয়ে থাকে, যখন নদীতে স্রোত থাকে এবং হঠাৎ করে পানির প্রবাহ যখন বেড়ে যায়। এবং সেই জন্যই মাননীয় সংসদ সদস্য, আপনি নিশ্চয়ই অবগত আছেন, আপনার ধারণা আছে, না দেখে থাকলেও ধারণা আছে, শহীদ রাষ্ট্রপতি জিয়াউর রহমান এই সমস্যাটিকে সমাধানের জন্য খাল খনন কর্মসূচি শুরু করেছিলেন ওনার শাসনের সময়। এবং বর্তমান সরকার খাল খননের মাধ্যমে একদিকে যেমন নদী ভাঙনকে ট্যাকল করতে চাইছে, একদিকে যেমন আমাদের শুষ্ক মৌসুমে পানির যে সমস্যা হয়ে থাকে সেই সমস্যাটার সমাধান আমরা করতে চাইছি খাল খননের মাধ্যমে। ঠিক একইভাবে আপনার নিশ্চয়ই ধারণা আছে, যেহেতু গ্রাম অঞ্চলে আপনি বেড়ে উঠেছেন, অনেক সময় এমন অনেক জায়গা আছে যেখানে বর্ষাকালেও পানি পায় না, বর্ষার সময়ও তাকে পানির জন্য কষ্ট করতে হয়। সেই জন্য আমাদের সেচ সুবিধা দেওয়ার জন্য খাল খনন একটি অত্যন্ত জরুরি প্রকল্প।
Agriculture Minister Mohammad Aminur Rashid has informed Parliament that the current BNP government has taken special initiatives to improve onion preservation. Responding to a query, the minister said that while the country currently produces enough onions to meet domestic need, about 25 to 30% of the produce is lost due to inadequate storage facilities. To address this, the ministry is preparing a special project aimed at reducing post-harvest losses. Under the plan, around 8 to 10,000 airflow machines will be installed. Once implemented, the project is expected to ensure fair prices for farmers and help the country achieve full self-sufficiency in onion production. In response to another question, Environment, Forest and Climate Change Minister Abdul Awal Mintu said the government is encouraging the use of eco-friendly block bricks instead of traditional clay bricks to reduce air pollution. He added that the government will take all necessary measures to tackle pollution and has also undertaken projects to convert waste into resources. Meanwhile, Civil Aviation and Tourism Minister Afroza Khanum told Parliament that a comprehensive master plan is being developed to promote all potential tourist destinations in the country. She also alleged that the previous Awami League government had failed to give adequate importance to the tourism sector. Later, a general discussion was held on the Thanksgiving motion on the President's address in Jatiyo সংসদ. Member of Parliament Mohammad Lutfur Rahman, Abul Kalam, Mohammad Abdul Ghaffur, Akhtaruzzaman Mia, Hassan Rajiv Pradhan, Nurul Islam, Mohammad Abdul Mannan and Hamidur Rahman spoke on the occasion. Later, Deputy Speaker Barrister Kaisar Kamal adjourned the House till 10:30 in the morning tomorrow. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman sought $2 billion fund from development partners to meet the Bangladesh's immediate energy needs and safeguard its economic stability. The Prime Minister said this at the Asia Zero Emission Community ASEC Plus online summit today. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman delivered his speech at the summit from his সংসদ Bhavan office this afternoon. Foreign Minister Dr. Khalilur Rahman and Foreign Affairs Advisor M. Humayun Kabir were present. Malaysia Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim and heads of the government and states of Japan, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, Timor-Leste and representatives of different countries took part in the online summit. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman said this moment calls for a decisive and coordinated global action to contain the impact of the ongoing energy crisis, particularly to protect vulnerable countries, including the least developed countries, LDCs, from its severe economic and social impact. The Prime Minister said, "We urge the international community to respond swiftly and positively to this call."
The crisis before us today is a stark reminder of our shared vulnerability and interdependence. No nation, regardless of its size or strength, can overcome this challenge in isolation. The energy crisis has already disrupted Bangladesh's economy. In response, we have taken a range of short-term measures to contain the impact. Bangladesh is not alone in facing this risk, nor can we overcome it through national efforts alone. This moment calls for decisive and coordinated global action to contain the impact of the energy ongoing crisis, particularly to protect vulnerable countries, including the least developed countries, from its severe economic and social impact. The situation before us demands urgency, stability, solidarity, and decisive action, Excellencies. Immediate support of the most vulnerable countries must be at the top of our collective agenda. In this regard, Bangladesh is seeking mobilize $2 billion from development partners to meet our immediate energy needs and safeguard our economic stability. We urge the international community to respond swiftly and positively to this call.
Power, Energy and Mineral Resources Ministry spokesman Joint Secretary Monir Hossain Chowdhury said that Bangladesh currently has sufficient fuel reserves to meet demand for the next 2 months. He revealed the information at a press briefing held at the Bangladesh Secretariat today on the global fuel crisis amid the ongoing Iran-US war. Monir Hossain Chowdhury assured that the country currently has adequate fuel stocks to meet domestic demand. Bangladesh's diesel reserves stand at 1,01,385 metric tons, octane at 31,821 metric tons, petrol at 18,211 metric tons and furnace oil at 77,546 metric tons, he added. Besides, jet fuel reserves are reported at 18,223 metric tons. Despite various government initiatives to maintain a steady fuel supply, people at the field level are still facing difficulties. Motorists are being forced to wait in long queues for hours at many petrol pumps. Some stations are reportedly running out of fuel, while there are allegations that artificial shortages are being created in certain areas to sell fuel at higher prices. To bring the situation under control, vigilance teams have been deployed to monitor fuel stations. These teams monitor work to make sure everything is done properly. Officials said that tighter monitoring has already led to improvements in some areas. However, despite continued efforts, public suffering has not yet fully reduced. People concerned think that if strict monitoring continues, the situation will return to normal soon. Information and Broadcasting Minister Zohiruddin Shapon has said that a virus of fascism exists within power. He added that the Prime Minister initiatives are acting like an antivirus vaccine against it. The minister made these remarks during a discussion meeting with members of the association held at the Photojournalists Association auditorium in the capital at noon. The minister said that the wage board will be implemented through consensus among all parties. He also recalled the important role of photojournalists in the democratic movement. Describing fascism as a disease, the minister said the government remains alert on the issue. He emphasized the importance of submitting complaints to the court with proper evidence and documentation for redress of torture during the fascist era. The Information Minister also expressed support for permanently allocating the Photojournalists Association office land for use as a training institute. The meeting was chaired by A.K.M. Mohsin, President of the association. Among others, BFUJ General Secretary Kader Goni Chaudhry was also present. Prime Minister's advisor on Information and Broadcasting, Dr. Zahidur Rahman, has said that a new law is being formulated regarding the leasing of water bodies in the country. He made the statement at a press briefing held in the conference room of the Department of Information at the Secretariat this morning. Additional Secretary of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting Mohammad Yasin, Chief Information Officer Yaqub Ali and other senior officials of the ministry were present at the briefing. The advisor said the new law aims to ensure that genuine farmers and fishermen benefit from the leasing of water bodies. Referring to the government's efforts to fulfill its election commitments, he said that farmer cards have already been distributed. He also mentioned that 425 crore 33 lakh taka has been allocated for canal excavation projects. He further stated that petrol and octane are being stockpiled to ensure fuel supply. In the context of the situation arising from the Middle East conflict, the government currently has no plans to increase fuel prices. After a long gap of 16 years, the postponed primary scholarship examination for suspended 2025 has begun simultaneously across the country from today. The first day's Bangla exam started at 10 a.m. and continued until 12:30 p.m. Earlier, the exam schedule was approved at a meeting of the National Steering Committee of the Ministry of Primary and Mass Education on March 5th. Later, a detailed routine was published following directives from the Directorate. According to the schedule, the English exam will be held on April 16th, primary mathematics on April 17th, and Bangladesh and Global Studies along with primary science on April 18th. Each exam will begin at 10 a.m. and last for 2.5 hours. However, the exams will be held on a different schedule in the three hill districts, Rangamati, Khagrachari and Bandurban. In these districts, the exams will begin on April 17 with primary mathematics. This will be followed by Bangladesh and Global Studies and primary science on April 18, Bangla on April 19 and English on April 20th, concluding the scholarship exams there. Meanwhile, authorities have allocated an additional 30 minutes for candidates with special needs. Previously, the last full-fledged primary scholarship examination in Bangladesh was held in 2008. In a case filed over crimes against humanity for the killing of 9 people in Mohammadpur, Dhaka during the July mass uprising, the court has deferred the hearing on the formal charge framing against 28 accused, including former Textile and Jute Minister Jahangir Kobir Nanok, to April 26. The date was set today by a judicial panel led by the chairman of International Crimes Tribunal 1. 4 individuals have been arrested in connection with the case. Banned Chhatro League's Mohammadpur Thana Unit President Naimul Hassan Russell, Vice President Sajjad Hussain, Omar Farooq and Fazle Rabbi. The hearing was initially scheduled for April 8th. However, defense lawyers stated that the prosecution had not provided the necessary documents, leading the tribunal to reschedule the hearing for today. The prosecution will present its arguments first on the next date. On January 18 this year, the court took cognizance of the formal charges submitted by the prosecution and issued arrest warrants against the 28 accused. According to the prosecution, the 3 charges in the case relate to acts of brutality carried out by the Awami League, Chhatro League and law enforcement agencies during the student public protests on July 18 and 19, 2024. It is alleged that under the instigation and both direct and indirect presence of the accused, indiscriminate firing was carried out on unarmed students and civilians during the protests. As a result, 9 people including Mahmudur Rahman, Shoykot and Farhan Fayaz were killed and many others were injured. Now, international news.